Hey guys, Nate here
Hi.
and Bianco here. So we got an interesting real estate deal for you today. This one, first time ever in my life have I ever seen this. I guess this is the first pandemic of COVID-19 we've all seen in our lifetime, and I hope we never see one again. But this real estate deal, it's throwing some curveballs at us. So get this. We're set up to buy this property subject to, which means that we're buying it on terms. We're buying it subject to the seller's existing mortgage. Well, this process started about 2 months ago, month and 3/4 ago. And the seller really wants our help. We're giving them a little bit of cash so that they can move on to their next spot in life. They tried the whole realtor thing. It didn't work because there wasn't enough equity for them to sell the property outright. And then they came to us. We provided a solution for them. They're like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. So we sign agreements. And then I asked, we're supposed to close on it now, within the next week. And I asked for an updated bank payoff. Can you? And he's like, well, I can't log into my app. And finally, a day later, he logged into an app. He sent me the screenshot and it shows the balance has gone up. And I'm like, what the heck? Your mortgage balance is higher than it was last time we talked. Aren't you paying your payments? And he's like, no. Since you guys were taking it over, I just thought that I didn't have to pay. And I'm like, well, the reason that we're getting into this deal is so that we could benefit from having your existing mortgage. That's why we could pay more for the property. Well, anyways, he entered something. Then he told me everything. All the truth came out then. And he said, well, what we're doing is it's the COVID-19 forbearance. We have 6 months where we don't have to pay the bank anything. It's free. And then I'm like, send me that paperwork. Let me see. So he sends me pictures of all the paperwork and I read the letter and then I figure out what it is it's 6 months delayed. So it's not like you just get to wipe out your mortgage payment and all that kind of stuff. Did you think about that? He thought that he didn't have to pay the bank for his house.
Well, he does have to pay.
Yeah, you got to pay the bank for the house. So that's the agreement, is that we're supposed to take over the mortgage in its current position, meaning he's made the payments up until closing. But so this curveball comes and I'm like, okay. I literally, after I hung up the phone, I just had to laugh out loud. I had to enjoy this a little bit because I've never been down this path before, and there's always a new curveball that comes. So those of you that might be dealing with a seller right now that possibly has entered a COVID-19 forbearance, let me tell you what to do, because I went to an attorney and I went to a title company today to figure out this whole thing. Okay, so this deal, the equity on it is, I don't know, it's a little bit tight. It's not so tight that it's unbearable, but it's a little bit tight. So what we figured out, instead of us, we were going to keep it as a long-term buy and hold. We would have just kept the mortgage and kept making payments. Well, I'm a little bit nervous to do that now because this seller has not been paying the bank. So that means that eventually the piper's got to get paid. That back balance has got to get made up and all that kind of stuff. And if it doesn't, they will put the notes, the mortgage, into foreclosure. And I don't want to take over a mortgage that's going into foreclosure. That'd be stupid. I'd be throwing good money after bad. And so I had to back up a little bit. I had to look at it from a 10,000-foot view. I ran it by my partner on this deal, and I'm just like, what do you think? Ran it by the title company, ran it by an attorney, and got all these collaborative opinions. Here's what we came up with. The property is worth something like $175. Okay. Oh, our camera's tilted on us. There we go. Property's worth something like $175. And it should sell pretty good. We got our expert broker to give us good comps on it and stuff like that. So it's worth $175. You're going to have realtors. You're going to have closing costs. You're going to have holding costs. Let's just call that 10%. There's $17,500 right off the top. Okay. Mortgage balance on it right now, well, it was at one time 118. Now it's gone up. And through the course of this delayed or deferred payments, if the payments aren't made, it's going to go up even more. So let's just pretend that that's going to be around $5,000, maybe $6,000 by the time that the house actually gets sold and cashed out and the bank paid off. And then there's renovation in the middle. Then there's what we have to make for profit. There's taxes. There's insurance. There's some other costs in the middle. What we figured out on this thing is that it's no longer viable to do the whole take it over and then rent it out, or doing a rent own. There's just not enough room on this thing. And plus I'm a little bit nervous because the bank knows that he's not making payments. So that might mean that the bank wants to call the note due at some point. And I don't want a house like that. So we went back to the seller and said, hey, look, here's what we can do. Since you've got 6 months gratis or grace period, he's got until January, essentially, before he has to make mortgage payments. So I said, look, The original deal was that you're supposed to make mortgage payments until we close. Now that you haven't been doing that, we can. Oh, you got fans there, Bianca. Look at that.
Hi.
Want to say hi to Marla?
Hi, Myla.
Say hi, Marla. You got Brenda. You want to say hi to Brenda?
Hi, Brenda.
And we got some other folks on here too. Let Bianco know you're here. Bianco was taking notes here. He's watching. Who's that? Want to say hi?
George Goro.
You got Gregory and you got Andrea. How you doing, Andrea? Nice to see you. A long time. It's been a long, long time. Okay, so with the seller, we went back and said, hey, since you've got a 6-month period where you don't have to make payments, you were originally supposed to make payments until we close on it, but now we can't take over the note. It's a little bit of a different situation. So here's what we're going to do, Mr. Seller. We'll still give you the cash that you needed to move. This cash is really important to them. They needed that. Look at that. You got Michael on. You got Graham on. You want to say hi to Michael? Say hi to Graham.
Hi, Michael. Hi, Graham.
Graham's in Australia right now. You know that?
Oh.
He's in Australia. Ask Graham what time it is right now.
What time is it right now, Graham?
So I told the seller, okay, since you're not making payments, I'm not going to make payments either. And he's like, what? And I'm like, well, here's the thing. We went into this deal knowing that it was a tight deal, still giving you some cash up front. Now it's even a tighter deal. We can't make payments either. We're going to use the full 6-month period. And then he's like, you know what? As long as we got it sold within 6 months, then I'm good with that. And I'm like, okay, great. So what we're going to do, instead of taking it over subject to, we're just going to get in there. We're going to clean the place up. It's paint, carpet, very light rehab, probably $5,000. We're going to do the $5K churn on it, churn as in renovations, and then we're going to get out. So my out of pocket to get in on this deal is I've got to do $5,000 in repair costs. I've got to pay the title company to close it, get title insurance and all that kind of stuff. And then additionally, I've got to give the seller a little bit of money to move on to the next spot. And then after we get the house cleaned up, we're going to have Grandpa do it. Should we have Grandpa paint the house?
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to have Grandpa paint the house. He'll change the light bulbs, paint the place, make it all spick and span, and then it'll be ready to go. Grandpa's bored right now too. Grandpa came up to visit. He's helping visit and playing with Bianco and stuff, but I think Grandpa can do a little bit of repair work and some painting, huh?
Yes, and he was looking for a job too also.
He wants to do something. He's bored. So we'll have Grandpa do it. We'll turn that place over. We'll get it back on the market. We'll have that thing sold and closed out before January. Now, I don't say go and flip houses and expect that you're going to get them done that fast. It's not an easy game for people to do, but this one's a really light renovation. It was built in 2006, so it doesn't need a lot of work, and I feel very confident in the ability that our team has to get this one churned. So we're going to get into this deal for a little bit of cash out of pocket, and then we'll get out of the deal pretty fast. So that's what we're doing on this COVID-19 situation. COVID-19 forbearance. I'll call it the COVID-19 forbearance deal. Michael is saying right here too, he's got the exact same situation. I want to talk the seller down on a lease purchase and then list it. I need to get some contractors. Yeah, you need a grandpa right now. A grandpa that's bored. A grandpa that came from a distant place to come visit and help around the house when the new baby was here, but he's bored out of his mind. So Grandpa's going to be our contractor on this one. But yeah, it's ironic. I had never seen this forbearance before, and I guess none of us have ever seen a pandemic like this before. But if I'm seeing it and Michael's seeing it, Michael's also a fantastic investor. If we're seeing it, then you might see this too. So just be on the lookout for this. If a seller is currently not making mortgage payments, maybe they're even eligible for this whole COVID-19 forbearance thing. BMO Bank gave this particular seller that we're working with 6 months. It's not like it's interest-free or penalty-free. They just freeze everything. It's frozen for 6 months. The payments still stack up. So on the backside, when we go to sell this place, the bank payoff is still going to look, all those 6 months are going to accumulate. But they state in the language of the contract that he did with them, it's a letter, that they're not going to charge him penalties. They're not going to foreclose on him. It's not going to get sent over to the REO department. They're waiting this out. So we've got 6 months to get in, get this property cleaned up, and then get it sold. Think we can do it?
Yes.
Well, actually, we have 4 months because he's 2 months already. He's used up 2 of his months. So we've got 4 months to do it. So he said he's going to be moved out next week. We'll send Grandpa in. We'll get the place cleaned up. We'll get it back on the market and get it sold.
Okay.
Sound like a deal?
Yes.
We're gonna purchase it under your entity too.
Okay.
Bianco's entity. So you're in charge, man.
Okay.
It's going to be you and Grandpa. Your summer project.
Okay.
Cool. All right. You guys got questions on that? You got comments? You let us know. I'll make sure that Bianco answers you. I know that everybody shows up to listen to him, not me. That's cool. I'm good with that. So you guys let us know. Oh, you got another person now. You got Jennifer on too. You want to say hi to Jennifer?
Hi, Jennifer.
Jennifer's rocking it up in New York.
Oh.
Getting deals left and right. Cool. All right. Well, I hope everyone has a blessed weekend. If we don't hear from you, I hope that's because you're out either making deals happen or you're with your family spending some good quality time. All right. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.